So I want to talk about the development of a brain.
Sure.
How the brain works when you are inside the profit. How the brain works whenever you're inside a loss.
Of course. One thing that I've learned being in the game for about 8, 9 years now, so almost a decade,
Yeah.
the brain is wired to take losses differently than it takes a profit. In fact, right, because we don't want to accept that the market is not going in our favor, we actually form what we call a confirmation bias. So you can clearly see the direction that the market is going in. You can clearly see that it's going against the direction that you've decided, but now you look for every reason why the market should reverse, even though it's showing you that it's going in the opposite direction. Do not worry about wins and losses. In fact, forget about them. What you should focus on as a trader is ask yourself this: did I do my job? What is your job? Your job is to analyze the market data and to manage your risk.
A development of a brain, it takes a lot, especially from people who trade. When you get inside the trading industry, your mind eventually gets to see things which we never actually understand. So today we are here to talk about the development of a brain, how losses can impact your brain, how profits can also impact your brain. Welcome to the podcast, as I'll be your host today, and we also have our guest, Mr. Letulushabo. His platform is to introduce himself and also teach us everything that we need to know as traders.
What's happening, trading family? It's your boy Maestro in the building. Letu Dushaba, your senior market analyst with HFM, and I'm here on the podcast. Glad to be here, share my insights as always, and it's always good to be around a growing environment. Grateful and humbled to be with you guys today.
So before we even get started, I would like to talk about the development of a brain.
Okay?
Because being a trader, it's something which most people understand.
Sure.
And we do not know how to, take out that thing within us of being a consistent trader and being a profitable trader. So I want to talk about the development of a brain.
Sure.
How the brain works when you are inside the profit. How the brain works whenever you're inside a loss.
Of course. One thing that I've learned being in the game for about 8, 9 years now, so almost a decade.
Yeah.
The brain is wired to take losses differently than it takes a profit. In fact, you know that for example, let's make an example. To make $100 is not the same as to lose $100. Psychologically, the losses actually take a bigger hit on the brain than the gains do. So the mind actually looks at losing money because we've been taught our whole lives that losing money is bad. Right?
Yeah.
I think everyone is in the same boat. We've been told you should never lose money, right? But the truth of the matter is, when you are a trader, you're gonna have a mindset shift where I won't say it'll be easy for you to lose money, but you will become resilient in a way that you understand why you have to take certain types of risks to grow. Remember, at the end of the day, as a trader, there is no profit without risk. So before we can ask ourselves, how much am I looking to make? The main thing as traders we should ask ourselves is, what are we willing to risk?
Okay. Being able to calculate your risks, that's how every industry works.
Of course.
But one thing which I don't understand is that as traders, we tend to let our losses run and we cut our losses short.
Our profits, yes.
Yeah, we cut our profits short. So can you please take us through that thing? Why is it that?
But it's exactly like I'm saying to you, it's the psychology of wins and losses. When you are running in a loss, psychologically, you're telling yourself, the market can reverse. You're telling yourself, the market can give me another chance to enter again. You're telling yourself that there's still a chance that you're going to turn a losing trade into a winning trade. And when you look at it, the probabilities of that is very low, right?
Yeah.
To turn a losing trade into a winning trade the chances are very low, right? But then when we are in a winning trade, what ends up happening is that we tell ourselves there's a chance that the market will go against us. There's a chance that the market will take our profits away. So what do? We cut our profits early, right? And this is something that we've all had to deal with, because if you are going to be a trader, you need to understand that the setups that are the best are the ones where you can add onto a winning trade. Right? Adding onto a winning trade means that you are compounding your gains. But the setups that are usually the worst for us are when we add onto a losing trade. Right? Because we don't want to accept that the market is not going in our favor. We actually form what we call a confirmation bias. So you can clearly see the direction that the market is going in. You can clearly see that it's going against the direction that you've decided, but now you look for every reason why the market should reverse, even though it's showing you that it's going in the opposite direction.
So what I understand when you say that is like I'm adding too many. Actually, I'm adding more trades on a losing trade.
Exactly. It's like feeding a monster.
And which is something which most people actually do.
Of course.
Because they want to be always right.
Correct.
Whenever they get inside the charts. And which is something which you shouldn't even keep whenever you get inside the charts. When you get inside the chart, you should always have that mindset of, okay, today I'm here to see the results. If I win a trade, that means I'll have to reward myself. Then if I have to lose a trade, what am I going to do? And
so do you know what I teach my traders that I've been basically mentoring over the years?
Yeah.
I tell them, do not worry about wins and losses. In fact, forget about them. What you should focus on as a trader is ask yourself this: did I do my job? What is your job? Your job is to analyze the market data and to manage your risk. If you do those two things, irregardless of the outcome, you can say you've done your job, right? So if I analyze a trade and I form my thesis and I see exactly what I'm expecting out of the market and I execute my trade and I manage my risk and that trade is a loss, I've done my job. If that trade is a profit, guess what? I've still done my job, because irregardless of the outcome, it's not going to stop me from placing another trade. See, we as traders need to understand that today's outcome doesn't really mean much in the bigger scheme of things, because irregardless of whether I make a win or a loss today, guess what? Tomorrow I still have to trade, isn't it? So why do we put so much weight and pressure on today's outcomes?
And guys, the development of a brain is something which we need to understand. What you see currently, it's something which it will impact you tomorrow. So never rush for last. Always look out for opportunities which will grow you in the near future. Let's talk about investment when we talk about when we grow much inside your brain, because what you feed your mind, it's something which it will like give you results at the end of the day. That is why today I just wanted to talk about the fitness of the brain. How fit can you actually like train your brain in terms of?
So there's a saying that Jim Rohn says. You know Jim Rohn?
No.
So it's a very big personal development coach, and he says his secret to success is you have to learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Most people, they work very hard in general, right? But life does not reward you for working hard. Life rewards you for what you do in your private time. So there's a saying that says you will be praised in public for what you do in private. And I feel like as a trader, that's the main thing, right? You can work on the charts, you can do the chart hours, you can buy and sell, you can learn all the trading strategies. Will that make you successful? In essence, no. Because the main work you have to do, it's internal. You have to work on your bad behaviors, your habits, your impulses, your emotions. This has nothing to do with the market. Right? So a lot of the time people want to blame the market or blame the broker or blame the strategy. And that's the reason why they're not going to see the long-term effects, because they're not working harder on themselves. The secret is work harder on yourself than you do on the market. That's how you will become the best trader you can be, because at any stage that you are at, there is something for you to work on. There's no one who can say, I've worked on everything, I'm a perfect trader. That doesn't exist. Unfortunately, we all want to get to that place where one day we can say, hey, we're so good that, we're the best. But the truth is, there's always something for us to work on. So we should remain humble as traders and tell ourselves that if I'm not going to work on me, how am I going to grow in the market? It's not possible.
And also what you feed your mind, it's something which you should be careful on.
100%.
Because what triggers the emotions, it's what you get to put inside your head.
It's usually why I say social media has become probably one of the most dangerous tools for traders now, because instead of you focusing on the things you need to do, you're looking at so-and-so driving a Ferrari, so-and-so is in Dubai, so-and-so is popping bottles with very nice, beautiful females, and you forget that actually you are here to grow as a person. No one started trading because they want to, impress the next person.
Yeah.
We began to trade because we wanted to be financially independent.
Yeah.
You did it for yourself.
And also the lifestyle, when you get
For me, I can say the lifestyle is a result of mastering yourself. You can never have, if I give you the lifestyle, if I give you my car, I give you the house, I give you my clothes, I give you everything, do you still have the skills? Do you still have what it takes to sustain? The lifestyle is not really going to answer the problem, because the lifestyle is an effect. It's a byproduct of the person's character.
Last time we spoke about envying someone's results.
Success, yes.
Yeah. And I came across so many things which people would like to envy because they never understand the struggle. They never understand the late night sleeps, when 100%. You get to blow your accounts, get stressed, They always want to rush. They always want to rush things, and which is something which you do not.
We call it the microwave mentality. Today's world, because things are so instant, right? You go on Google, you type this, it gives you an answer. We want everything right now, but a trader has a mindset of delayed gratification. You know that the work that you put in now is not going to pay you right now, but it can pay you 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, because it's a compound effect, right? Albert Einstein said compound interest is the largest wonder of the world, because no one knows how far it can go, right? No one knows. And the truth is, with trading, the upside is unlimited, right? There's no limit as to how much a trader can make, right? But there is a limit on what you can lose, because you can only lose what's in your account, right? So we don't look at it like that. We think if we take a loss today, that it's the end of the world. But the truth is, your losses today will turn into your profits tomorrow. As long as you stick to the game and you understand that I need to sharpen myself and my skills in a way that I can compound long term. If you're compounding long term, you will turn all your losses into profits.
Trading is not all about winning. It's not all about winning, even though we want opportunities of winning trades, And which today I want to open up your mind, guys, because when you get inside the market with the mindset of a winning trade, you eventually lose everything.
Yeah, for sure.
And you get to come across emotions which you never even expected, because when you start putting more trades on a losing trade, you're eventually going to lose everything, because you need to limit your losses. That is why they say cut your losses short.
Exactly.
And let your wins run.
Exactly.
Never be afraid of your setup. If you're seeing, if they say right now the market is going against your analysis, you just have to put your stop loss and take a loss, move, and focus on another thing. So let's talk about emotions.
Sure.
So emotions, how do people feel whenever they get inside the profits, when they take that screenshot? And taking a screenshot is something which I don't know if the market listens to that screenshot or something.
I always say this: if you're taking a screenshot, it means you're proud of something, the results.
Yeah.
So why are you not closing? It means that you see that you're doing the right thing, because you wouldn't have taken the screenshot, right? You took the screenshot because you can see you did the right thing. So now the thing about trading is that the profits, because you are running in profit, doesn't mean you are profitable.
Being profitable,
right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we are too quick to count the profits that we didn't bank. So we're looking at the screenshot, we're running in a profit. In your mind, that money belongs to you, but it doesn't belong to you. The truth is, the only money that belongs to you is the money that is sitting with you. Right?
What's inside your bank?
What's in the bank? That's what belongs to you, according to what I understand. Right? What's sitting in the brokerage is unrealized until I actually make those transactions to move those funds. So don't count profits that you didn't bank. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it is a psychological thing, because it has a lot to do with our emotions. Have you ever seen that reel where a trader's in profit, right? The trader's running in profit. While they're running in profit, they're on Google, they're busy researching how much is a Lambo, how much is a house, how much is this, how much is that, while the trader's running in profit. And then the market reverses, right? And then what happens to that? So it's all about those emotions of regulating. You cannot count profits in your mind that you did not bank. And then you also need to understand that every time you are in a position, there is a specific risk that you are undertaking, right? So even though the market might be going in your direction, you don't have to look at how much you're making. What you should be looking at is, how much did I risk to make this specific amount that I was looking to make? Be more attached to the risk than you are to the profit, because the market chooses the profits, but we as traders, we choose the risk.
Seeing things differently now, like it hits different. Like, I don't want to lie, how we used to trade, when we were back in high school, like go full margin and blow those accounts. Whenever we are in profits, we'd like get excited, but not understanding the risk that we have put ourselves inside.
Exactly.
We get to actually like give out everything, when you risk. Let's say right now you funded your account with cause those times we couldn't even afford 1,000 rand account.
Whatever you could put, put it, right?
300 rands.
Whatever the amount was. But what was important is that even though you were taking those risks, blowing your account, taking your losses, that was the resilience that built up inside you to be able to actually make a profit, right? I always say to my students, it's very difficult to guide someone who doesn't have any skin in the game, because if you come to trading and from the word go you make a profit, you think that it's always going to be that way. But if you come to the game and you realize from the word go that this game is real, we do take losses. And the losses that we take, we have to be responsible for them. Those are the traders that will usually grow into becoming profitable traders because they understand they've got skin in the game. They understand that the money they've worked hard for, they can lose it in the market. Versus the person that doesn't have any real understanding of the market, they're just taking a chance, maybe NFP or CPI, and then they just made a quick profit and they think the market will always be that way. It's very dangerous because we both know that it's not that way.
Yeah, and speaking about that, it's like someone who just randomly wake up, then open his phone, see that setup, then they start executing trades.
Exactly.
It's like they didn't even have like any trading plan.
I always tell the peeps out there, a good trade is the one that followed the plan. It's not a win or a loss. A bad trade is the one that you took without the plan. So many traders don't understand that you can take a trade with your plan and take a loss, but that trade is still a good trade because you worked the plan. But if you took a trade without the plan and you won the trade, it's very dangerous for your psychology. Why? Because you're going to keep doing it. You're going to keep thinking you can come to the market randomly, place trades and make money or make a profit. But the truth is the market doesn't work that way, right? This is a business and we have to treat it like a business. Anyone who has a business without a business plan is simply planning to fail, right? You can never say that you are going to start a business but you've got no business plan. You're just going with the flow, see how things go, right? And why do people do it in trading? Right? So sometimes it's those little things, and that's why I was saying to you, it's important that we as traders focus on working on ourselves. You got to look at the man in the mirror and ask yourself, am I really looking to become profitable or am I looking to get lucky? Which one? Because if you assess yourself, most traders will realize they've just been looking to get lucky the whole time because they've never traded with a plan.
So being that 1%, it actually like takes everything from yourself. Like it actually like takes everything, how you choose yourself, how you get to analyze things. Let's say right now people are seeing buyers and you're the only one who's seeing a selling position, a selling opportunity. Are you willing to like risk that thing of, okay, fine, people are seeing buyers, but my setup is selling. What am I going to risk in order for me to...
Exactly. That's all I care about. You see, in the markets, bulls make money, bears make money, but pigs get slaughtered. Basically what it means is, if you're a seller, there will be a sell position for you. If you're a buyer, there will be a buy position for you. But if you are greedy, there is no position for you.
And there's another thing that I came across. It's like the beauty of construction. When you start building your empire, it's like people don't understand what you are building until you are done with everything. And that's how people should get the mindset of, actually this is how I'm advising people to like look at trading, because what you are building in your own spare time or in your own private time, it's like something which is going to benefit you in the next coming years. So you shouldn't be worried about what you are doing currently, but you should be worried of the impacts that you're going to face in the next coming future.
Yeah, you got to give yourself time as a trader. Most people are coming to trading expecting to make profits within their first 6 months, their first year, their first 2 years. But those same people are willing to go and get a degree for 3 to 5 years before they even make 1 rand in a full-time job.
Yeah.
Right? So why is it that we are comfortable to, wait when it comes to maybe being a doctor? A doctor will wait 9 years, 7 years before they actually start earning, right? A lawyer will wait 5 to 6 years. We as traders, we want to be in profits in our first month. So it tells you that there is this mindset of instant gratification and things happen at speed. And obviously this has come from the marketing and the promotion of how the industry looks out there. But the truth is, if you want to become profitable, give yourself a chance. Tell yourself, I'm going to be in this game for the next 5 to 10 years. I'm going to give myself that opportunity to become a professional. And guys, that's how it is. The first 3 years, you might be in losses. The next 3 years, you might be at break even. Only after that, then you might start to see that, hey, actually, I understand what I'm doing, and you are in the profitable phase. After 5 years, you get what I'm saying? Now, that's just part of it, because you're putting in the time to become successful in the game and in the space. And everything good takes time, right? Why? I don't know why. That's just how God made it, right? Because if it could all be instant, if we could all be millionaires tomorrow, I'm sure we would be. But unfortunately, life doesn't work like that. Life will reward you for what you do in private.
And today we are here to share about those things, because those things which you do like in your back room are like secrets of intelligence. What you do whenever you're alone. It's something which it builds your mind.
Exactly.
In order for you to grow in this industry. And it is not enough for you to have like one knowledge. You need to have more knowledge about everything that you do. Let's say right now you have like a new technique which you want to apply. It is advisable for you to get more knowledge.
Of course.
Seek mental health.
The truth is, as traders, we never stop being students. We can never say we know everything, because the market is changing every day. So what you knew last month might not apply this month. What you applied last year might be slightly different this year, because that's the game of the market. The market is an ever-evolving, beast out here, and it's never going to be constant and one way. It's always going to be shifting and changing. So you as a trader, you also need to learn how to adjust, how to, learn certain patterns, learn behaviors that are going to be profitable for you. Before you can be profitable in the market, you need profitable habits. The habits that you have, your routine, is what really will make you profitable. Right? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you just wake up and on a random time you look at your phone and you place a trade and you keep doing that consistently, I can tell you long term, chances are you won't be as successful as you want to be, because you have not formed profitable habits. But the person who has a decent routine, wakes up, maybe prays, goes to the gym, takes time to write notes, writes their plan down, looks at the market, does their technicals, looks at the fundamental data, and actually puts in the work, long term, that person would be profitable. You get what I'm saying? You've got to form profitable habits so that you can be profitable. Give yourself a chance.
And those good habits, I actually think that good habits start from your day.
Exactly.
When you wake up, I always like advising my little brother with this. If you want to have a successful day, start with your bed, because you can't just wake up and go out there.
Exactly.
What you start with when you are still young, it's something which you need to maintain.
You're gonna program yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So a lot of the time in the beginning stages, I know I was making that mistake of thinking I can just come to the market 1 minute before 1/2 past, look what's happening, and then just decide am I buying or selling, and then that's it, I'm out. But the truth is, the market does not work like this, my brother.
Yeah.
The market is actually, what did Warren Buffett say? It's a tool to transfer wealth from the impatient to the patient, right? So we need to understand that you need to be patient with yourself, patient with your setup. You just need to have an understanding of, I'm here for the long term. I'm not here for today's outcomes. Yes, today's outcomes, guys, if we make a good trade and we take a win, we're gonna be happy. Yes, we might just celebrate, go out, whatever the case might be. But we should know that today's outcomes do not define our trading career. Whether today's trade is a win or a loss, I don't think that's relevant to my trading career.
And there's another book which I was reading. It's called The Disciplined Trader. I really like that book because it actually brings out what you didn't even think of.
Uh-huh.
Being disciplined is something which it's not easy.
Of course.
When you discipline yourself, your mind actually starts fighting against you. But when you start letting go and be disciplined throughout, discipline actually starts from one thing. When you discipline yourself from a bad habit, you actually learn when time goes,
100%.
and there's no need for you to be perfect in everything that you do.
No, there isn't. It's just that, you see, we need to understand, and I've gone through this even at the stage that I'm at right now.
Yeah.
You can be disciplined 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months. But the truth is, in trading, it only takes one bad day, one bad week to really, shake you up. To say, okay, even though I was disciplined for the past 6 months, sometimes the market just isn't doing what we want it to do. And then we let our impulses take over, and that one bad day just ends up being an extremely bad day.
For everything.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I've learned as a trader over the past 10 years is to reduce those days. When I can see that, okay, now I'm having a bad day, I cut my loss, I switch off the laptop, I do something else. Because if I'm gonna put myself in that position of continuing to trade, overtrade, revenge trade, I'm just digging myself in this hole deeper and deeper and deeper. Meanwhile, it was just a bad day. If I just switched it off and came back the next day or the next week, it could have been different. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that also comes from going through that experience. You see, experience is needed in this game, brother. The theory of trading and the reality, it's two separate things, right? A person can speak to you about psychology, but when you are in that position, when you are actively in the trade, all those principles might just go out the window at that time, because we are emotional beings. As human beings, we must realize when our emotions have taken over. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, so what do you think about those traders who can see the direction of the market, but they end up losing a trade?
See, the problem is not in the direction of the market.
Yeah.
Guys, you can do your technicals, fundamentals, you can have the best trading strategy, but the trade just didn't go your way. Does it mean that you're a bad trader?
No, I actually think
No.
you're not a bad trader. You were just in a wrong place.
It just means that the market didn't go your way,
Yeah.
right? You don't control the outcome. All you control is the discipline and the risk. So you know that you did your job as a trader, you analyzed, you managed your risk. That should be the only thing you care about, right? But because we are attaching ourselves to the outcome of the trade, was the trade a win? Was the trade a loss? If it was a win, we happy. If it was a loss, we sad. No, that's not how we as traders should be thinking. We should be asking ourselves mainly, did I follow the plan? Did I manage my risk effectively? If the answer is yes, then that was a good trade, irregardless of the outcome of the trade. If it was a calculated risk and you followed your plan, then move on. At the end of the day, irregardless of that outcome, you're still gonna have to trade again. You're not gonna retire because today's trade was a win or because you took a win for NFP. You're not gonna retire from trading because of that. So why do you put so much pressure on yourself to make money today? Sometimes the market is not giving today. Let go. It's okay. Know when to walk away. That for me was the most difficult part to master.
And actually letting go of something, so it's one of the huge actually difficulties
Major.
which we are facing.
And a lot of people think it's capital that will solve their problem. But the truth is, my brother, whether it's 1,000, 10,000, or 1 million, the bigger the capital, I would even say, the larger the responsibility. Because now, if you are trading a large account and you are saying you are risking 10%, that 10% risk or 5% risk or whatever amount that you decide to risk, when you're seeing it live there in your P&L and you're running in the negative, Now you have to psychologically say, okay, I'm deciding to walk away. I'm closing my loss because the market went against me. But now when you start seeing the numbers, the sums are going up, that's where the emotions can begin to take over. That's why I tell people, don't focus on capital. Because you're going to put big capital but not have a strong psychology, it's just going to mess you up even worse. You get what I mean? Because now your losses will be bigger. So instead, focus on gradual compound gains. Compound your gains, minimize your losses. Do it with a smaller amount first. Gain your confidence. When you have a clear, proven strategy, then you will raise your capital. That's how it is. Because you're a business. You as the trader are the business. So if you're not going to, how can I say, master the small things, how are you going to ever get the big things right?
Yeah, and mastering the small things is like you being able to manage those small accounts. Let's start with like small accounts, $30, $100. If you can manage those small accounts, you probably never actually going to manage bigger accounts.
My thing is, bro, deal with where you at. We all know where we are financially. What's a small account to you might be a big account to someone else. What's a big account to you might be a small account to someone else.
Yeah.
Deal with where you are. Don't worry about what the next person is doing. Look at where I am. This is my daily target. This is what I need to do to take myself to the next level. Do that.
And I actually came across this comment on Instagram. The guy was losing for way too long, and he actually thought that trading is something which it's not even possible.
Okay.
He was like, guys, what if we are trading the wrong mindset? Then I started asking myself, what if we are trading the wrong mindset? Which is that mindset? Are we trading with that mindset of being in profits instantly, or are we trading with that mindset of wanting to see results like right now, or are we trading with that mindset of being able to learn, being able to participate within the market? How long can we last? Let's talk about longevity.
Exactly.
Longevity is something which you should apply in everything which you are going to do in life. Let's not talk about trading right now, but let's talk about everything. Your career, longevity of it. How long can you last in this industry? And currently, right now, guys, I just want to share some of the important information which most traders lack. If I were to get that like, subscribe button and that notification from you guys, I would really appreciate it, because these are the information which you need to understand as a trader, and which you guys need to also learn and grow from this industry, because people are making money out of you, but you do not know how. So you have to have proper guidance. You need to have that proper mindset. So these are the things which you are going to teach you.
For sure.
And guys, please ask any questions from the comment section. If you have anything in mind which you would like to know, click on that comment section and write anything which you would like to know. So Mr. Letu,
Yes, sir.
I want to know this one thing. Being a consistent, profitable trader, what does it take?
What does it take?
Yeah.
So, very good question. I always say the game has to break you before it can make you.
Yeah.
And it's in that time when you are broken and you put the pieces back together that you realize who you really are. And then you start to formulate these habits that I told you about, profitable habits. So we have a saying in my team. We say there are people that do IPA, there are people that do NIPA. IPA is income producing activities. NIPA is non-income producing activities. For you to be a successful long-term trader, focus on IPA, income producing activities, right? Things that will help you grow as a person. Now, IPA doesn't mean placing trades all the time. It means you are doing things that are going to grow you in a way that you will be able to see compound gains long term. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
right? Watching Netflix and chilling and drinking and doing things that are not producing the results that you want is not going to, yield any growth long term. But if you focus on your routine, if you focus on your habits, if you focus on the things that you know you need to do, you see, we're all adults here, bro. We know what we need to do, right?
Yeah.
You need to do it. At the end of the day, no one is going to do it for you. No matter what I can say, no matter what you can say, my brother, no one is going to put money in your pocket and say, hey, go out there, be rich, you've got it. No. You know what you have to do.
Yeah.
So it's also on you to look in the mirror and say, I am 100% responsible for where I'm going. I'm 100% responsible for what I'm doing as a person.
And like when you talk about something which you need to be responsible of, people get to realize that at a late stage, because what works for you might not work for me.
Exactly.
And something which people need to start realizing right now, because when you start participating in things, in events actually, which other people are celebrating on, it might actually be a loss on you.
Exactly. Look, the good book says comparison is the thief of all joy. So you shouldn't be looking at someone who's successful. Look, and I do also. I look at them and I gain that inspiration out of what they've done. And we all in the same industry. So it means that if it's possible for someone else, it's definitely possible for me, right? But now I don't have to look at them in a way of being envious or being, craving what they have. Every man will have his time. The truth is, you need to work on certain things that will get you to the next level. You know what those things are. So if you're going to delay your process and focus on things that are not going to take you there, how are you going to get there? No one is going to put you there. This is a mountaintop that we are climbing. And unfortunately, you cannot take the stairs. You have to climb.
So what do you think about those people who takes 2 steps to the forward, then 5 steps backwards?
You're building a character, my brother. We've all been at that stage where we feel like we're making progress, and then we get a slight retracement, just like we see on NASDAQ, right? But long term, our career is bullish, brother. We're going up.
Going up.
Right? We might have that retracement once in a while, but we don't forget who we are, right? We don't forget the principles. We don't forget the mindset. We don't forget everything that we've done over the years that will take us there where we want to go. But sometimes it's necessary for you to be humble in a way that you know that, okay, it's also not 100% in my power. My success, brother, is not 100% in my power. Okay? Yes, I've had a lot to do with it because it's my success. But without God in my life, without the right families, without principles, without all these things, it wouldn't have been possible. You get what I'm saying? Yes. So I also have to be humble in a way of understanding that, okay, it's not 100% me. I'm not the genius here. I'm just a vessel. I'm just a messenger. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I teach my traders. You don't let losses get to your heart. You don't let wins get to your head. You always stay humble.
It's like people have forgotten to surrender to the flow, because whenever you start wanting to control, it's like whenever you inside a river, you want to take the opposite direction whereas the river is going that side. But
when you go against the current.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You're obviously going to drain yourself when you're going to do that. But
exactly,
if you're going to surrender everything and let the river flow with you,
exactly.
it might even take you to where you want to be in life. So right now,
agreed.
I want to talk about the subconscious mind and the conscious mind.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you understand about being in subconscious mind? And
look, I understand quite a lot because I am also someone that studies the mind. The point of the subconscious or the conscious mind is to get it to a point where certain things just become a natural habit, right? So we have different stages of competence. Okay? So when you are basically unconsciously incompetent, it means you don't know what you don't know. And that was all of us when we came to trading. We thought, okay, this thing, it looks simple. We can come here, make some quick bucks, and just see ourselves living the lifestyle, drive the BM, get the girls quick, fast.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that time we didn't know what we didn't know, right? And then you get to a point of being, consciously incompetent, meaning you realize that you don't know. So now it's on you to go and learn. You get what I mean? You've reached that second stage of realizing that, okay, I'm not as good as I thought I was. I need to go and get the right knowledge and information so that I can develop the skills necessary to become good, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a third stage where you are consciously competent. It now means you know what you know. You know you are a good trader. You know what you have to do, right? You know what it takes. So you have that understanding. But then the most difficult stage to get to is the last stage where you are unconsciously competent. It means now it comes to you naturally. You no longer have to think about it. It's become part of your character. It's like brushing your teeth. You wake up in the morning, you do it, you don't think about it. It's like driving a car. You didn't think when you were driving, hey, I have to make this left turn, this right turn, I have to stop by the robot. It's become natural. Do you get what I'm saying? So as traders, we are all pushing to reach to that stage. But it takes time, brother.
It takes time.
It takes time.
And when we talk about things which takes time, you also need to understand that there are attitudes which you need to adapt whenever you get inside, growing yourself. You need to adapt certain attitudes which will grow in the next long-term run.
For sure, agreed.
Attitudes are something which builds your character, and that's one thing which I understand whenever I get inside this environment. When you give out the proper attitude, you also get to be rewarded with proper attitude, which then
100%.
aligns with you, with who you are as an individual. And I actually like that because I've managed to grow in this industry of trading. I've got to understand that $2, $5 is a profit. You need to close.
Well, exactly. At the end of the day, you already know that if you are doing one thing consistently, that's where you're going to see the results that you want. It's not in doing something once. Anyone can make a profit one time, right? That doesn't make you great. But if you can do it over and over and over and over and over again, that's where the greatness comes from. So you might look at it as $2, but $2 very quickly turns to $20. $20 very quickly turns to $200. $200, $2,000. Consistency. If you can be consistent, you will see compound gains. That's the thing. But most people are struggling there, right? Because they want to see the big gain today. 5,000 to 5 million. I don't know, like if it's a mindset of what they're seeing on the internet, or if it's because they genuinely don't want to take on the journey of making that gradual growth. It's a journey that you have to be willing to take. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't expect what you don't, how can I say, what you haven't worked for. How can you expect what you didn't work for? You want millions, but there's a saying that says, millionaires lose thousands to become millionaires. Billionaires lose millions to become billionaires. But people who have a poverty mindset, they are not willing to lose anything. Right? They want to retain everything. But you can't. At the end of the day, you know already in this journey that you are in, there are certain losses you are going to have to take to go to the level you want to go to.
Guys, it is important for you to read your energy, because energy is something which you put inside and it will also reward you with what you attract.
100%.
That's how the law of attraction works. And speaking of energy, let's talk about the energy which you got actually when you started being a profitable trader.
Okay, so the thing is, you see, when you become profitable in the beginning, you won't even realize right? It will seem like actually you've gone through this journey, things have been so tedious, things have been so difficult that you start making profits, but you as the trader, you won't even realize it because the market has broken you. You get what I mean? And it's exactly what I said to you. Before this game can make you, it must break you, right? So that you have that humility, so that you understand where you're coming from, so that you understand that, okay, even though I might have today, if I go back to those bad habits, if I go back to that way of doing things, it can all be gone. You know what I mean? So you realize that, okay, we are always dealing with pressure as traders. You get what I mean? And the pressure is living up to our own expectations of ourselves, living up to the expectations of people around us. It's always going to be there. You get what I mean?
I understand.
It's the standard of being in this industry. If you're in this industry and you don't want to handle the pressure, I don't know if you're in the right industry. You know, because pressure makes diamonds, my brother. Without it, we can never forge ourselves to be great.
After the greatest pressure, and I also like read about this one quote. It said, being the greatest person out of inside the room, you need to think outside of that room that you are inside.
Okay.
You know, and you know, people get inside whatever business that they want to be inside with the mindset of getting the quickest result as possible because
Sure.
of the current situation.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean if you are like surrounded by poverty, you will forever be inside the poverty. Remember that there's a difference between being poor and being broke.
Of course.
You know,
Of course.
poor, it's you lacking that mindset,
Mentality, yeah.
You know, and broke is just a state of that temporary situation.
Temporary, yeah.
You know, and you need to make something out of it. You know, and most of successful people, it's not like they do not have problems. Guys, there's never a life without problems.
Exactly.
You know, the higher you go, the higher those problems comes to you. You know, it's like people who have 1,000, actually 50,000 problems. They won't even have time for you because your problems are like even way less than 5,000 rands. You know?
Yeah, so obviously we're all at that stage, you know, where we have to deal with the problems that we have, and we have to also understand that as we level up, the level of pressure we deal with will also go up.
Yeah, and there's also another thing which I wanted to ask you.
Yes, go for it.
This is a platform where we ask anything. There is a universal mindset which we get to understand and which we get to grab. It is very easy to grab, very quick to grab, but hard to follow.
Okay.
You know, because when we start talking about the universal mindset, it's like people want to get rich.
Okay.
People want financial freedom. People
Yes.
want to have those, successful businesses.
Sure.
But they always have the wrong mindset. You know, this is how traders actually get introduced into, when they see those lifestyles.
Yeah.
Actually, let's not talk about lifestyle, because lifestyle is something which you get to see at the end of the day. Let's talk about the universal mindset, which everyone gets to understand, and they're easy to grab, when they see those successful people. Do you think it's something which it can be reliable on, or it's like something which people should like actually put aside and focus on their journey?
The good book says, my brother, you cannot put your trust in man. Why? Because man is not consistent. Personally, I put my trust in God and I follow what He tells me to do. Why? Because I know if He's going to take me through the storm, He'll bring me out of it. You know what I mean? Now, here's how I look at it. Everyone wants the same thing. We came to the market, we all want financial freedom, we all want independence, we all want to live a decent lifestyle, we all want to have results. But why doesn't everyone get results? It's because we are trapped in a cycle of thinking that if we follow the next person, if we do what this person does, if we do what that person does, we're going to get results. Don't put your trust in that, man. Very dangerous. Put your trust in God, because He will take you to where you need to go to. Every storm, everything, every success, attributed to Him. Because as I told you, we are only a vessel. You are not the reason that you are a part of the process, but you are not the main factor of your personal success.
So in other words, you're telling me that people should always believe in God.
I'm telling you that believing in yourself, believing in the journey and in God is going to give you more results than believing in the next person's strategy or the next person's signal channel or the next person's this that is selling you. That's rarely going to really give you what you want. We need to look inside, because that's what's going to get you the outcomes that you're looking for. But most people are looking for external factors that are going to change their internal problems. And it will never work.
So when you start looking inside yourself, what is it that you need to start identifying?
The things that you know you are doing that are keeping you where you are. Number one, we all have things that we know, habits that we know are not serving our purpose. Right? You need to get out of the bad habits and replace each bad habit with a constructive and good habit.
When you talk about habits, there was a book which actually I'm writing a book and I'm about to finish it.
Wow, wonderful book.
And there is this method which I like using in most cases. It's called KAFTPC.
Okay.
So K stands for kids. When we are kids, we are being told that one thing, that you should go to school, for you to become successful, you should do this in order for you to
get a job.
You know, those things. And when we get to follow those things, we actually get trapped in some certain stage. You know, that's what K stands for.
Okay.
And then for A stands for attraction.
Okay.
What you attract into your life is something which you are currently doing. So what you are doing currently is something which you are going to attract in the long term.
I'm with you.
So it's KAF. So F stands for feelings, emotions. You know, how do you feel whenever you get inside that motion, whenever you get inside that circle, that emotions that makes you to say, okay, fine, right now I feel like I've made it. What is it that is making you to say you have made it? You know? And then T stands for trap. You need to identify the trap that you're inside. You know, because when you start identifying the trap, okay, fine, right now let's say people are inside a 9 to 5, or people are inside that the metrics that people talk about, you know, they need to identify that trap. Okay, fine. Which trap, which are they under? What, you know, like what are the things which they are under, or what are the things which they are inside the trap of you? Sorry about that, but
I get the whole point. It's basically an indoctrination. It's an understanding that we as human beings, we are living in a cycle of expectation. You're expected to go to school. You're expected to, you know, get decent grades, go to varsity, get a job, have a family, pay bills, and die, basically, right? But if you understand that you gotta get out of what other people have planned for you and walk into God's plan for you. God's plan for you is divine, my brother. You understand? And even though you may not understand what it takes, you have to ask Him, listen here, forge me, make me what you need me to be, so that I can handle the levels that you want to take me to. So if you must break me, break me. If you must shake me, shake me. Whatever lessons I must learn, let me learn them, so that when I get there, I can keep whatever you're giving me.
And you also need to identify the patterns which you get to come across. You know,
you get what I'm saying? And that's why I said, number one, learn or realize the habits you have are keeping you where you are. That's the first thing. Then realize that you have to break those bad habits by replacing them with good habits. And it's those good habits that are going to take you to where you want to go.
Yeah. So do you think taking control of your life is something which people should start considering as from now?
How can you say you're going to be successful if you're not taking control? Who is going to make you successful? Is it another person? There's no one on earth here who can come and say, hey, listen, my man, I'm giving you everything you want here on this earth. It doesn't exist, right? You have to take control. It starts there. Otherwise, you're still very far away, in my opinion. But the moment you say to yourself, listen here, I'm taking full responsibility for everything that is happening, right? Even if it can be someone else, right? Where you were born is not your fault. The family you were born in, the situations you're dealing with, they're not all your fault. But because you are at that level of understanding, or you are having that wisdom of understanding, you are going to take full responsibility. Because that's what winners do, bro.
Guys, I hope you have had so much knowledge from now, because these are the things. Which information are you going to feed your mind? Building your mind it's that one journey which you need to understand whenever you get inside any business, especially when you get inside the trading industry.
For sure.
You need to understand that your mind is something which you need to build. Your character is something which you should maintain, and also your attitude. What you feed yourself is something which you need to understand that it's going to benefit you in the next term. Let's talk about longevity. Let's talk about the success which you need in your life in order for you to become where you are. Thank you for people who have participated from the first of this channel until this far. It's your boy Kampano Mashawa. I'd like to say I appreciate everyone who has watched this video until this far. See you on the other side, and see you on the next episode.
Blessings, family. One time.